Hello, everyone, and welcome to the 82nd episode of OFAC. It's a miracle we made it this far. How are we, Pete? You alright?
Yeah, I'm good, thanks, mate. Yeah, no, it's good to be here again. I've got quite a few people in the chat already with Toy Mafia, Duffett, Lane, good old Lane, Aurelius Delgado, and Ryan Smith. Evening all, nice for you to join us, and I'm sure we'll see a
Hello,
few more
boys.
drop in shortly. Yep.
Yes, I just noticed the tree. I like that. A very festive edition,
Yeah,
Pete.
1st of December.
Yeah.
So I thought I'll go and find last year's one and stick the tree on there. So I think we'll
No,
be
I
doing
like that.
probably only two live shows in December. I think we've got this one in 2 weeks on the 15th, and then we'll probably pre-record for the 29th.
Yeah.
So we'll have to get on that
Yeah,
in the next couple of weeks.
Yeah, we've done all right out of the way our schedule falls this year. We kind of get everything away, done and sorted the week before Christmas, which is handy.
Mm-hmm.
But then it just means that little break in between. We got to get something in. But I was thinking we could do something maybe miniature related because we keep banging on about that.
Yeah. Maybe get Zach in.
Yeah, be good. It will be good, my man.
Funky Cold Santa in the chat as well. Welcome. I'm just going to belt to in a minute. There we go. Done.
There we go. Sorted.
Yeah.
So I've got a little trick.
Yeah.
Every time you see me go on mute and I just go like that, it's because I'm letting one off. And I don't, just so it doesn't go down the mic. Yeah, exactly. I'll just, you'll be talking, I'll be going, and then it go on mute and then you'll just see this. And then back.
I'll watch out.
But yeah. So watch out for that one.
To see that, but welcome, Mr. Mark Pearson, caffeinated comic fan. Evening. I'm going to blame that belch on. I had to just neck some Coke because my missus just gave me a Christmas pudding flavoured crisp, and it was vile.
Oh,
Tesco.
Did you know?
Christmas
Tesco
pudding flavour. Ooh.
Tesco really dropping the ball.
I don't like
I
Christmas
picked up
pudding. Yeah, so I didn't think I'd like it, but yeah.
No.
Yeah.
No, I picked up some. They were meant to be like caramelized onion crisps, and I was I like caramelized onion, fucking lovely.
Mm-hmm.
Picked them up, got them home, and I was like, oh fuck, these aren't normal crisps. These are that fucking horrible shit that they make out of like bits of like fucking turnip and crap like that. Do you know the ones I mean? They're always like fucking horrible colours. Vegetable ones, which is an oxymoron in itself because potatoes are vegetables. Like it should, all crisps are vegetable crisps, but these are like turnips and shit like that, and it's just like eating a bag of potpourri. And these were the fucking most horrible things I've had in my life. They were fucking vile.
It's really disappointing, isn't it, when you pick up a bag of crisps and you're really looking forward to them. Put them on the side, put them away, and then you get them out and you go, oh. No.
Yeah, you go, this is fucking horseshit.
These, like you get those. This is really off topic. This is very British. This, I think,
it is, isn't it?
You get those those lattice things. They're kind of like,
I think I know the ones. Yeah.
Normally like sour cream or whatever. But years ago, Co-op did a prosecco flavored ones, and they were both the most vile and weird thing I've ever had. So they had a really weird taste, but they almost like when you put them in, they had that like little bubbly kind of, and they were horrible. Worse than these Christmas pudding crisps, but they were pretty bad. So
yeah, they sound rough.
I mean,
as
I'm
fuck.
all for festive specials, but they've gone too far, haven't they? Christmas pudding and prosecco flavour.
Yeah,
nah.
Yeah, way too far. Just because you can doesn't mean you should.
Turkey and stuffing, pigs in blankets, pork, cranberry and brie. Oh, they're fine. They're all good. But they've not for me. Thank you.
No, it was shit. So, other than crisps, let's have a look at the shit that we've picked up in
new this fortnight.
Where's Kirk?
Okay, well, unfortunately, I don't have anything. For a kind of a combination of the fact that he seems to have been on at least 3 flights so far from China, and it seems that everyone in the US has got theirs. I don't know if anyone in the UK has got theirs yet, but shipping direct from Exo6. So God knows, every day I look and it says flight arrived, flight departed. And some of them are only like 2-hour flights. I'm thinking, where is he going? Where is he going? Yeah. So, and then obviously, we're in the middle of a 2-day, we're just at the end of a 2-day Royal Mail strike. So even if he'd got here, the chances of me having him by today's show were pretty slim. So I put him in there as a placeholder. Where is Kirk? I'm pretty sure, unless he gets lost completely, in which case I'm screwed because Nanjin said there aren't any spares. There's no spares. If you lose one, if it gets lost, you'll get your money back, but you'll never get another one. So hopefully he'll turn up, and hopefully I'll have him on the next show. So he'll have to wait. But yeah, a bit of an odd one. We also we're due to have friend of the show Ian Seaby on tonight. Unfortunately, he's got technical problems, but he got his Inbox Studios Wampa statue in today. This pissed me off. So I haven't really followed their Facebook. I've seen a few pictures on there, and they did some updates, and they sent me a message a few weeks ago and said, "Do you want blood under the mouth or not blood?" I went with not blood because I figured, well, I can always add the blood later, but I don't really want it because that's like a special edition thing. They only added that on the special edition one, so I'd rather him clean. So I did that, and I said, "Oh, is he shipping soon?" And I didn't get any reply, and I hadn't paid they hadn't asked me for the balance at that point. So last night I'm sitting watching TV, and I get a message from Ian going, "Did you get your Wampa today?" I'm like, "What the fuck? What?"
Yeah.
I said,
what?
"No, I've not even billed me for it." And he's like, "Oh, I got mine today." And I was like, "What? You fucking what?" And I was like, I felt sick. I felt like I don't know. I just like, oh, what's going on? So I started messaging them, and I not being rude, but I was like, come on, what's going on here? And then I thought I'd go on Facebook, and they put a post up end of October that said, we're going to be able to send out an initial batch. It said 43 at the time, first 43 people, and the rest will be later in the year, whatever. So I was like, oh, well, I'm like number 12, because they put a grid up, 1 to 99, and you could pick what edition one you had. So when I went on, I think there was about 25 of them had gone. I went for 12. But then they fucked up. They sent me an invoice for the whole amount. And I was like, I can't pay. I'm not going to pay that now. I can have one for the deposit. And it took a couple of days. So I guess in that time, I dropped down the list in terms of making a payment for my order. So I messaged him and I was like, "Oh, okay, right, I've seen it now. Okay, that's fine." But there was no mention when we ordered it in February. There was no mention that there was going to be batches and the quicker you got in and all this sort of thing. So I mean, it's all ridiculous because I'll have it soon anyway. But it was just because it took me by surprise because he's like, "Oh yeah, I've got it." I was like, "What fucking hell?"
Yeah.
So I messaged them and said, I appreciate that. Obviously, because of the mix-up with the invoice, I wasn't. And they then said they only actually shipped 20 out. Yeah. But anyway, so then I said, "Oh well, can you, do you mind like prioritizing mine, whether they are or not?" But with that, the
well, if you don't ask, you don't get.
Invoice arrived for the. Yeah, exactly. And then they went, "Yep, here's the final price." I won't rub it in too much, but the shipping's $40 less than Ian paid for his because it's just. I think they're all dropping again now, aren't they? The prices of shipping is kind of coming down a bit. So instead of $130, it's like $90.
Yeah,
so
that's not bad.
It's kind of a result. So hopefully, if they get him out, in the next week, then I might have him like in time for Christmas. It's one of those things where you're like, well, I don't really want him sent out just before Christmas because just all hell breaks loose, doesn't it? And that's when things get lost or broken or whatever. So, but hopefully he'll come. But yeah, so we were due to have Ian on to do an unboxing, so it's a bit of a shame that he had some last minute technical issues. But either way, we'll either have Ian on next. Well, he's more than welcome to come on next show anyway. But if we can get him to do his unboxing, I mean, I'll let him open it and have it out, and then he can rebox it and reopen it. But a fake unboxing, like most of the CW ones are anyway. But I might have mine as well. So all good. So so nothing for now, but Kirk is definitely on his way, and hopefully, over the weekend I'll actually find out where he is. But it's not a lot I can do about it. So
I must admit, I was hovering over the order button on Kirk for ages, and I was like, problem is how quickly Spock had come out. I probably wouldn't be in a position to get Spock, so I was like, no, leave it.
Yeah, because he's only a few weeks away, I think.
Yeah.
So
and there's a lot. There's a lot coming out.
Oh yeah. I figured I'm gonna. I pulled the trigger on him. I'll pull the trigger on Spock, but I'm not necessarily 100% that I will keep them, because ultimately I want the Ruther Khan, Kirk, Spock, and Bones. So these may well just be kind of like stand-ins, because they might be a couple of years off. Yeah. So I might get these guys, and then obviously I can sell them on. And I'm not in it to profiteer. I'm not going to sort of whack him straight on for 400 quid. And people have. But at the same time, I know I'm not going to lose money on him, because he is very limited. I mean, there's no... Yeah. They haven't mentioned an edition number or anything, but they're all gone. Very limited. I mean, there are some for pre-order, but obviously, though, that stock is allocated to those retailers. There won't be any more.
Yeah. Once they're gone, that's it.
Yeah, I assume Spock is probably going to be a similar number of pieces, because they sort of developed them at the same time. And then the Bones, the disco Bones will probably be very limited, because I think that's like a real. So I will pick all three up, but they may well just be like, have them for a couple of years and then soften them out for the Rother Khan. But it's one of those things where if you had any, you had to go for it, kind of thing. Yeah, damn it, Spock says his is on the third flight now. So maybe they're travelling together. Yeah, they're enjoying a few cocktails together. So we'll keep.
They're truly boldly going.
No, it looks really good. Yeah, I say a lot of the guys in the States have got theirs, so clearly that's a quicker route from China.
It was only one stop.
Less land, less. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, less water to cover. And he looks really good. Like the shots I've seen, really good. The tailoring is fantastic. There's a few people that have got, or a couple of people that have got some little nicks. Like one's got a nick on the arm and stuff. And the problem is obviously, yes, you can return it for a refund, but you're not going to get a replacement. So I think as long as it's not the worst issue or not fixable, then you've got to live with it, I think.
I think either way, you're just lumbered with what you get. If there isn't any replacements, that's it.
Yeah. And some people have got slightly wonky stitching and things like that, but overall, like the fit looks really good. I think the head sculpt's good. So it's cool. So we'll hopefully have him on the next show. But you got something. I put in your other one as well, so you can talk about that. The head.
Yeah, so I jumped on this ages ago. So this is what I can never pronounce his name properly. Waruna from Man Cave Toys. So he actually now works for Star Race. But he's done this run of this Ash Williams head sculpt, and Ash Williams is always a really fucking hard person to sculpt. Like Bruce Campbell is just hard to sculpt. Sideshow have never got it right. Asmus there have probably been the closest, but that needed a repaint, which is the one on the right. But he has absolutely nailed it. Like, it looks so much better than any of the others. So it turned up probably about a week ago. And then I jumped on it and painted it over a couple of days, because I had a few days where I was kind of doing bits and pieces. And I love it. It's fucking fan. I can tell when a sculpt's really good when it practically just paints itself. Like it's just a nice sculpt, and he was really good throughout the run on the like whatever the splinter off Sideshow Freaks was that just did customs. So on that forum, the run was managed through that. And he was like, right, it's designed to be the same size as the Asmus ones. You can just swap the Asmus one. And a few people were like, oh, I've got the Sideshow one. It would be great if it was scaled to that. So he said, okay, if someone can send me the Sideshow sculpt, I'll scan it in and make sure when we do these.
Slightly bigger.
Having both in hand, they're not. There's not that much in it, which I didn't like when I placed my order. I didn't have the Asmus one at the time, so I just assumed there was going to be a difference. And I had the Sideshow scope, so I was like, yeah, okay, I'll have it same size as the Sideshow one. Not a lot of sculptors would do that. Would literally go, well, if anyone wants it this size, let me know, and you can have it that size, and you lot can have it this size. So that was really good.
Differ from the original size that he sculpted it at, then? Is it a sculpture or is it like a digital?
Digital. So he digitally sculpts it. So all he would have to do is, say on the slicer, is you just adjust the x-axis and then everything else adjusts in relation. So you just go the widest point.
So the original one that he was selling, was that bigger or smaller than what he's made the Sideshow one to be? That's what I was thinking. Like, why?
I'm not sure.
The Sideshow one in the first place.
Because originally,
body, like,
the Asmus body's really a lot. Yeah, the Asmus figure in general is a lot smaller.
But the head's about the same though. So
I don't think when people when he got the Sideshow one in to scan, he was like, there isn't much in it, but if you still want it to that size, then. And the thing is, I'd used the Sideshow head before, so I was like, the head that was on this this picture here was an old Sideshow one originally, so I was like, give it to me, the Sideshow one, because then I know for sure 100% that will fit on that and that will work fine. But he gives you the little grommet for the inside. He kept us up to date all the way through. Like, it was one of the best runs I've been part of in a long time.
What was the overall span from the sort of first solicitation to you receiving the sculpt?
So I ordered mine probably 3-4 months ago, so it wasn't that long.
That's pretty. Pretty good.
It's pretty good.
Low, apparently. I shall crank up. Let me know if that's any better. Action figure, please. Action figure Academy.
It was really good.
My game.
Really well run.
So
Perfect.
have you recycled the Sideshow one onto one of your other figures, or is it kind of not worth?
No, it's just
using
here. It's not. I mean, we can never quite do this, but you can probably see it there. It's not the best in the world. It's okay. You can kind of You can. The only reason you know who it is because he's got his eyebrow up. It's not the best in the world. So I've pretty much.
Thanks, mate.
Yeah, cool. So I've pretty much got the Asmus repainted one on the Asmus one, and that's kind of like a like he's just lopped his hand off and he's been shooting at it.
And then with that last show, didn't we, with the duct tape?
Yeah, that's it.
So
and then this one's like.
But the Sideshow one looks. I mean, that looks really good. That looks really good on the left there with the new head. Is that the body that's got that weird kind of cut in the midriff?
No. So that on the left.
Down the side.
That on the left is.
See the seamless arm.
Yeah, that's a Fison with he's got the Sideshow trousers and top. I think it's the Asmus rig, the Sideshow chainsaw.
Right. Okay. So that's like your ultimate version kind of thing.
Yeah, Sideshow Sideshow did a couple of weird things with theirs. They had that weird split in the middle, and they also had, for some reason, they didn't give him a watch. They gave him a watch in his original, like really old Evil Dead 3 Ashes. But they didn't in anything else. So it was a bit like in the figure where you can actually see his hand and you can see his whole arm, but no watch. But the moment it was covered, they gave him a watch, which was weird.
Yeah, exactly. Because that's anything you need to cover. You know, there's other ones fine because he's got the duct tape and the chainsaw, and you just need to cover that seam up with the watch, and then it's does the trick.
Yeah,
Caffeinated says, "Where have all your figures gone? Are they not in the background?" No, what's going on?
No, they're all boxed up upstairs. So at the weekend, I'm pulling everything out of here because I need to fit a dehumidifier and
that's
behind,
right. Yeah.
Behind this wall has started to go a bit rank. So I need to pull everything out, treat it, put it back, and put a dehumidifier out here. So for the time being, they're packed up, bubble wrapped upstairs. So yeah, that's where all my shit's gone because it's fucking cold out here and there's no heating out here.
That it was,
Yeah. So I'm kind of just having to keep an eye on it, and for the time being, it's all out there. Like I said, my new this week involves this figure and some dehumidifiers that are going to turn up, just to take the moisture out of the room. But yeah, so the life of a grown up, I fucking hate it. But yeah, that was pretty much my new this fortnight. I think people are starting to get invoices for doc, so I may have a doc at some point.
Yeah, it's interesting.
Yeah,
it's
that'd be good.
this weird thing, isn't it, where now Sideshow seems to be getting stuff out before, because I'm with Toys Buying Agent and I'm second batch, so you probably find that the Sideshow ones will go out before. I don't mind because Sideshow would have cost me more money, but
Yeah.
I was just starting to think, maybe he's not coming this year, but maybe he is.
So ideally, it'd be great if he was pushed back to after Christmas. But after Christmas, I've got the Western Doc, Western Marty, and a few other bits. But I'm going to have to go through and just cancel the bits that aren't that important and just stick to the Back to the Future stuff, really. Which is a shame.
Yeah.
But yeah.
That's the way it's gone, isn't it? Streamlining and cutting down some of the lines, really.
I mean, that's what I'm doing at the moment. I'm going through and just clearing out a load of stuff while I've taken the opportunity, while it's all packed away, to go, it's getting a bit crowded in there. I'm going to try and focus mainly on Star Wars. I've decided I'm going to slim right down my Batman collection, and I'm just going to keep my Arkham, my 2 Arkham figures, my BVS Batman Ago that I repainted, the Nicholson Joker, all that kind of stuff, just go. And then keep a couple of kind of custom-y bits like the Guyver, because that's not a figure you can really get. And then get rid of my Predator and stuff like that, because it's just a one and done figure. Yeah, have a clear out. I want to get Steam Deck, mate. Steam Deck is what I want, so I want to get rid of a few bits.
How much do they go for then?
Depends. If you go for the real basic model, it's like $350. If you go for the mid-tier one, it's about $450, and it has slightly better, faster storage. And then you can go top of the shop with the best storage to do and an anti-glare screen and stuff for $650. But then you've got to take into account.
So it's a handheld unit with a built-in screen, is it then?
Yeah, it's literally a handheld PC. So it runs like Red Dead Redemption and stuff like that on a handheld. And then Steam have got a docking station that's slightly delayed, but you can then dock it like you would a Switch. They are absolutely fucking insane.
What size screen?
So they're a bit bigger than a Switch. So you'll have that kind of size screen while you're on the handheld. And then, like I said, once you get a dock, you just dock it straight into your TV, and you've got a.
So are they
PC.
Like an OLED, or is that different options? Is that an expensive one?
I'm not sure if it has an OLED screen. I don't. The reviews I've seen haven't said anything about that.
It's just interesting because obviously that newest Switch has got an OLED screen. The more expensive.
But this is the games this can play compared to the Switch. It's mental. You're playing full-fledged PC games on a handheld. And like I said, you can dock it and play it as a normal PC if you want.
What's the battery life like if you've got it out
Depends what you're playing
in the field.
So if you play something like Red Dead Redemption, you're gonna get about an hour out of it. If you play something like a top-down kind of cartoony type game, you probably get 3 hours out of it. It really
so it's very much dependent on what it's running. Yeah.
But to be fair, a man of my age, I'm not playing it on a commute. I'm literally going to be playing it while I'm sitting on the sofa while the missus is watching something I don't want to watch. So I'm always going to be near a plug. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. That's the thing with all these things, isn't it? It's like you worry about it, but most of the time, like you people put all this data on their phones, but the majority of the time they're in a Wi-Fi zone, and you don't really need any of it. So, and you say, it's like, I've got a tablet on my desk here, which I watch shit while I'm working and that. But it's always plugged in, so it doesn't really matter, does it?
No, it's like
it's just a cheaper way of getting something that would cost you like $3,000 if you bought an actual gaming PC, I suppose.
Yeah. And the thing is, like, with the docking station and that, it'd just be like a fancier Switch. And because it's running games off of Steam, and I mean, log on to Steam now and have a look at the games on there and how much you're paying for them compared to what I'm paying on my Xbox. It's fucking insane.
Yeah, I bet. I'll have a look.
It's mental how cheap the games
you can use, like, you can just connect any Bluetooth controllers and stuff to it, can you?
Yeah. You just do that. Cool. I mean, I bought a couple of games on the Xbox sale, so I ended up getting Mafia. I ended up getting Resident Evil. So these were quite good. So Mafia, the remake was £13, and then Resident Evil 2, which I played 3, the remake. I've not played 2. The definitive edition of 2 was £8. So I was like,
wow,
fuck it.
Fuck
it, I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
And then the best game I picked up for £24 was the new Lego Star Wars game.
Oh, it's brilliant game, that, yeah.
Oh, it's so fucking good. The thing is, me and my boy were playing it, and he's rushing through it, doing all the missions, and I'm like, just slow down. Like, that's the story. We all know what happens. Let's have a little...
Let's enjoy the environment.
I can't believe how...
the graphics are so much better. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
I was really impressed with it.
It's so good. So good. Just and the way everyone's upgradable as well, which you haven't really had before in in these Lego games.
Yeah.
But
that's a great game.
As a 36-year-old man, I am absolutely loving the Lego Star Wars game. It's really good. Yeah. Surprisingly good.
Yeah. Right, we're losing viewers. We need to get onto the meat and potatoes.
We need to get onto the meat. Yeah. Right.
We just dropped 3.
Suzo like fucking Lego Star Wars. Fuck off. Right. Okay. So let's have a look at
new releases.
Right, Cody, I mean Vaughn. We've got Clone Wars Trooper Vaughn, £170.
Seems reasonable.
It's all right.
That's without shipping and tax and all that stuff, bollocks, I suppose. But
yeah. I mean, it's all right. I mean, I've got a Cody, and really, I could pick a Cody up relatively cheap and paint it like this, and it'd be fine. But it's all right. It doesn't. Yep. It doesn't exactly tickle my pickle, but it's okay.
Is he an interesting character in the TV show? Or?
Not particularly. He's just another named trooper. But I mean, he's Blue Cody. Is probably the best way to kind of put it. It's all right. Yeah. It looks good. It ticks the boxes.
Yeah, the thing I thought was weird with it, and I purposely didn't put any put these 2 pictures in sort of almost waist up, is to me from the blogger photos the legs and that didn't look as weathered as they looked a little bit too clean, which was weird. It's almost like it wasn't as heavily weathered as the rest of the armor. So yeah, it looked a bit odd, and there was they've done some weird things with his legs. Just some really unnatural looking stances and things.
I noticed that, and I was like, "Is this just the posing, or is this like an actually weird, fucked up?"
Yeah. He was doing the splits sort of thing. It was weird. So I think he looks alright in these photos, but some of them they looked a bit dodgy. But that might just have been I don't know, lazy poke. They were just like, oh, "Fuck it, I can't be bothered." It's another clone trooper. But yeah.
Yeah, so that was Vaughn, and then we've got another Star Trek one, Axe Wolves, £200. Again, I quite like this one.
Yeah, hot on the heels of Bo-Katan, which is good. So we need the Koska Reeves, is it?
I think so.
Hopefully she belongs soon, so you can get the set. Yeah, it looks good. I kind of like the colour scheme on this. I like the pouches and stuff on the belt. Like, it looks quite good with the weathering and stuff on there. Quite a muted sort of colour scheme. Looks pretty cool.
Yeah, I quite like
very
it.
Similar to the Mando, aren't they? Really, they're just like recolours and bits and pieces.
Yeah. This is very similar to the Death Watch Trooper thingy that came out not long ago. It's just different undersuit and some different colouring, but it's fine. It looks all right.
Yeah, and the guns
if you're going down that,
it's very different to it.
Yeah, I like the guns,
isn't it, that we've seen?
Yeah. If you're going down the Mando route, then this is on your list. And actually, you know, if you can get it for that £200 mark, then in this day and age, it's pretty good. It is pretty good.
Yeah. I quite like him.
But for 15 quid
that
more,
doesn't come with a head sculpt, does it?
No, which is a strange
colours,
choice because I think the Hasbro
a little bit
one
cheaper.
did.
Yeah. Yeah, and obviously Bo-Katan's got a head sculpt, and but what about the Cosca Reeves hasn't, has it?
Don't think so. Can't remember top of my head.
No, so yeah,
don't think
they've sort
it
of
does.
done these. They've done these to a disjustice and gone, well, you know, you're not famous, so we're not bothered doing your heads, even though they'd have been cheaper to do. But
I think I think it's just one of those where there are a couple of side characters that actually didn't do much of anything really, so they probably just thought,
they had like one big episode, didn't they? And then that was kind of
and look, there's enough people out there to do sculpts. So if you really want one, you can get one.
Yeah, of course.
But it's not too bad. Not too bad. And then this Loki was also dropped. So that's 215 quid. It's the end game Loki. I quite like this.
How long ago was that? 4 years
Such
ago?
a long time ago. I can't believe we're still talking about Endgame when we're talking about figures.
I know.
It's,
I'm not sure if this is the last one, because when we talked about it before, I was corrected in the chat. There was another one, but I can't remember. It was like an Iron Man or something. But we've got to be.
They're all
melding
there into one, though. It's getting to the point now.
Yeah,
that now we're looking at No Way Home and all the new phase of stuff. You kind of these Endgames one slip in, and you're like, oh fuck me, we still doing this? Like
yeah, and you're like, and then
it,
you think, has there been another version since then, or like with some of the other characters, like Doctor Strange? I mean, God, I wouldn't be able to pick one out from the other. I don't think.
No, they all look so similar, so similar.
But, I think this looks all right. I think it's it's been criticised a lot, but I don't mind it. I think
it looks fine.
It looks good enough.
Particularly that shot on the right.
But I'm just
looks really good.
Yeah, as we say, we're always so over Marvel that we certainly won't be buying. But I guess if you are collecting Endgame, then you might be one step closer to finishing it off. I'm sure there was somebody who told me there was like another. There was a different Iron Man that hadn't come out, but I can't remember.
Fuck that.
Who knows? There's always like battle damage, and there's this one and that, and blah blah blah. Yeah, but yeah. And then talking of
the corpse
Noah Home and Doctor Strange.
Yes, the 308 quid for No Way Home Doctor Strange.
Yeah, why is this so expensive?
It
comes with a lot of orange plastic bits, but
I'm guessing he's expensive because the other versions of Doctor Strange were so expensive on the secondary market. They probably thought they could jack him up a little bit. But that's me being a little bit.
Just seems quite
facetious.
270 maybe, but over 300 quid. That's just bonkers. I mean,
well, if we
talk about it all the time, and we're
Loki's 215.
Yeah.
Why is this so much more fucking expensive?
Yeah, well, that's what I thought. I mean, and it seems like a bit of a jump up, as you say. Whether it's just a cash in, I can't see that there's anything there that warrants that. But
think about it this way.
Particularly
this is 308. The next one up is 450.
Yeah, which is much more. So we'll skip over to Doctor Strange because we're not really interested, and he's a lot of money. But this one for 450, I don't mind that.
This is 450, two figures, albeit one of them is the AIDS-ridden version. But you've got your two figures there for 450. So we've gone from 215 to 308 to 450. I don't see the logic in that price range.
No,
if I'm honest. But yeah, I quite like the look of this. I think it doesn't make Steve look so ridiculous. I think if you had Steve on his own, be like, But yeah, I quite like this. This is pretty cool.
Yeah.
And it's fucking massive.
Yeah. I mean,
like, I know Steve's small,
I don't know,
but
yeah, it's pretty cool. I don't know, the sort of, it's hard to gauge like the detail of the stomper and whether it's kind of like quite hollow plastic or obviously because he can get inside it, but I don't know how far in, whether he can know just as we see it there, or whether he can get all the way in, and whether it's obviously not going to be mega posable, but it's an interesting piece. I don't know who's collecting the what if lines, but it's something different, and as you say, it represents slightly better value for money, I'd say, than some of the others.
It's weird, isn't it? Because we really go from like, what the fuck are they doing charging that, to something like this for 450, where you're getting quite a lot of bang for your buck, and it's like when they go into like the bikes and things like that. They're actually, when you look at how much they charge you for a single figure with not a lot, to get a vehicle or something like this, you're like, that doesn't equate. Like, it doesn't, to me, it just doesn't make sense.
No, it's all over the place, isn't it?
But while we're talking about big stompy guys, we've got the armorized Deadpool for 233 quid. This, if I walked into a toy shop in town and this was on the shelf, I would just assume that it's one of the, it reminds me of one of those. Do you know when you walk into the shops and they've got those things that are holding their hands out like that, and you just drop a control onto it to charge it? It reminds me of one of them. I'm not a big fan of this. I don't understand it.
No.
I don't know why someone who is effectively indestructible would need a suit.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
it's just a weird mashup.
Yeah, it's odd. I don't know if it's got any comic book, where it comes from or anything. It's an odd one. Certainly not something I'd be interested in.
So I've just said how much I dislike it, but I'm thinking, if you repainted that would make an awesome Deathstroke. That makes sense to me.
Yeah.
But as Deadpool, it just doesn't. Like,
no, it doesn't, does it?
No. And then whoever the fuck's getting this, Johnny Silverhand, 220 quid.
I hate this.
To be honest, I downloaded the game. I played it for a bit. It was okay. It wasn't the worst game I've ever played. It wasn't the best game I ever played. His character's a bit weird, but I get if they wanted to release a figure from this game, you kind of have to do this one because it's a game where you're making your person. It would be like going, I'm going to release the guy from, the main character from Fallout. Okay, well, that's different for everyone. So, and there isn't really a standard type person.
No.
That's recognisable. So I get why they've done this guy. But for me, it's... Nah.
Just
not for me.
It just looks bad. I mean, the head sculpt's all right, but just the... I don't know, it just doesn't look good. The sunglasses are horrible as well. They're massive and they don't really fit very well.
I can tell you now, this head sculpt is going to get ripped off so many times, and people will be after it to put on their own custom Revens and stuff like that from Star Wars.
Yeah.
Straight away, that's what people are looking at this going, I'm going to use that for Revan. Any day of the week. Any day. But, objectively, it's not a terrible figure. I've seen worse. But I don't know why that joint on the left-hand arm looks so bad.
No.
That elbow joint.
No. Yeah, it's horrible. I mean, that should have a seamless arm. And I know people moan about seamless and stuff, but that just looks bad. Yeah, don't like that.
Yeah, makes it look very toy-like. But yeah, that was Johnny's shit hand. And then, surprise, surprise, Kirk for 180.
Admiral Kirk.
Yeah, I think we've kind of gone through that one. But yeah, loving it.
Yeah, these are just some of the best. Credit to Dave James. He always takes good pictures. And he's really pleased with him. He says, it's like we said before, the tailoring's really good, and everything. So yeah, it's a nice piece. So looking forward to seeing that in hand. My first Exo6 figure. Yeah, and apparently this guy came out as well. I haven't seen any. I haven't seen any in-hand pictures. It's just that there's a lot of controversy, isn't there? About they've come out and said don't put the cape on him because it will stain.
They put a post out to show you how to put it on because it has to clip on from the inside, and then they've also said when you get it, wash it with warm soapy water a couple of times to get any excess red dye out, so it doesn't end up on the white suit.
This is the problem, isn't it? Because it's white and it's red, it's going to show if you.
Yeah. I mean, I've done it before where I've got stuff, and particularly with capes and cloaks and stuff, like a lot of the Star Wars ones, like you kind of do the wet look trick where you soak it and then put it on the figure so it dries in a certain way and it drapes.
Yeah.
But I've had it before where I've run it under a tap and I've squeezed it out to get that look, and I'm like, oh, there's quite a lot of dye coming from this. So it's not just like because it's so toys and it's a cheaper figure. Like no. I mean, Hot Toys
put that warning in all of their stuff. It may dye the figure. This has just been taken a bit stronger because they've said it will. They're not. I think they've kind of said it won't. It not maybe. It probably will. So suggesting that you do this, you soak it and stuff. And obviously, a lot of people aren't going to want to do that because they don't like to do anything with their figures. They want to get them out of the box. They're scared. They wouldn't dream of getting it wet or anything like that. So I can understand it. Obviously, if you've always got him in the same pose like that, it's not really an issue. But if you had him with his cape forward and then you put it back and it'd stain the shoulder or something, it would look bad. It's just part of the game. It happens. And obviously with the white, it's going to show up. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. This is just because go on.
I've noticed getting asked about stuff. I think now people are very in that box, and they don't really want to do anything with. I've noticed that a fair bit.
Yeah, and and the prices of these things are going up and up and up and up. So your investment is much greater than it would have been years ago. And so I understand people's expectation that these things should be, perfect or what have you. But it's always going to be the case. But anyway, like if he turns out like that, he looks great. And obviously they put out his son, didn't they, recently, from Invincible. So they look really good together.
And for the moment, I'm having a bit of issues my end.
Yes, you are glitching a little bit.
Yeah. For some reason, suddenly, but my speed test looks okay. Looks go. What's going on?
Yeah, David says, can't wait for Kirk. But come on, include a phaser regardless. Well, yeah, the problem is that it was always going to be a bare bones release hence the price and its limited quantity, and also it's very much that sort of Hot Toys mentality that he never held a phaser in the movie, so he's not getting one here. There's other things that he could have come with. Apparently, he had a wrist communicator. It doesn't come with that either. But it is what it is. We always knew it's going to be bare bones. So yeah, I'm sure you could pick up a phaser from somewhere at some point. But yeah, right. Ian's just trying to sort out some technical issues.
Yeah, I'm not sure what's going on my end. My connection has seemed to drop out, so I'm going to log back out and go back in.
The camera. Yeah. Or run without
Yeah, so
the
I've just turned that off,
to
see if it makes any difference. But
yeah,
okay.
the audio's not lagging now, so if you want to leave that off,
it's weird because I'm getting good. I've just run a connection test and it seems fine. So I don't know what's quite going on.
StreamYard, I think.
Yeah.
No. So that's it for new releases. If you want to run the vid for
that is it. So let's have a look.
Coming soon.
Gore. It's gore.
Oh, blimey.
Gore, blimey. The God Butcher, 285 at Q1, Q2 2024. I really like this. As a figure, I think it's like Shrink Ray. It looks fantastic.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's very good.
Didn't massively like the character. I thought the film was okay. It wasn't like fucking awful.
Yeah.
But
no, I didn't mind it. Yeah.
But yeah, I think this is a really good figure. Like, it looks really good. The sculpt looks fantastic.
Yeah.
They're really pushing that moving eye, though, aren't they?
85, good. Yeah.
Nothing is. I don't think half the stuff Hot Toys
are
putting out is worth the money lately.
No.
But,
no.
yeah, 285 for this, for a character I'm not overly fond of. Ain't for me.
No.
But it's objectively, as a figure on its Todd, it's all right. It's all right.
Yeah, and it's something different. It's got a custom body, obviously. Again, seamed arms and stuff, but he's got a lot of tattoos and bits and pieces, and obviously it's a different colour to a lot of the other bodies. So I suppose there's more gone into it than.
I like the way he's broke his wrist holding that sword.
Yeah, it's a big sword. It can kill gods. So yeah, he's
like try and move your wrist into that position. It ain't happening. Like
yeah,
that's the only thing sometimes with Hot Toys is you get too much movement out of that wrist that it just doesn't look right.
Yeah,
and I think that's one of them. And the hand looks fucking massive compared to like the ball joint.
He does, yeah. That's the problem. They put those smaller ball joints in now, which is good if you've got it in a straighter pose, because the arm kind of goes more into the hand. But obviously, if you start putting extreme angles on it and you expose the wrist peg, that ball does look really tiny.
Yeah.
So you got to be careful.
Yeah. So this next one is going to set John off. This is the 501st Clone Trooper. Sounds familiar. This is from the Obi-Wan series, though, so they've made it a slightly different shade of blue. And this is 202 quid at Q4 2023 to Q1 2024. So Hot Toys have really laboured the point with this one to show you that it is in fact different by doing a side-to-side where this is slightly taller, I think, which for a clone makes no sense.
Different, slightly different blue. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's obviously got Cuban heels on or something on his boots.
Yeah. So I don't mind it, right? I don't mind because obviously, okay, I've always said if it's from a different film, a different TV series, fine, not a problem. That's the way things work. But what I do find weird with this one is by making it taller, it kind of breaks every other clone trooper. Because now, if you were to get this and you were to put it next to any of the old clone troopers. So that's the Coruscant Guard, that's Cody, he's going to be taller. So if you've got a group of clones, unless you can offset this one, so you're using false perspective to try and even it out, it's just going to look weird. Because he shouldn't be a different height. No. And I think there's some slight changes to the suit as well. Like the cutouts from under the arms and stuff. But I think
it's
if
funny,
you missed out on the first one.
They've not just put, an Obi-Wan Kenobi. It's like as seen in Obi-Wan Kenobi. So we're blatantly just reissuing, albeit with a few little tweaks, maybe not for the best, but it's just kind of like, we know what we're doing, but this is from Obi-Wan.
Yeah,
Can't you remember? So it's quite funny.
Thing is, I looking at the other clone releases, none of them are terrible figures. I don't know what they need. I don't know what they've almost said. Oh well, we've made improvements. Do you need to? Like, was it a figure that really needed improvement?
I don't even remember him from the film, unless he was the hobo one that was on the begging for change. In which case, we haven't got the Grizzly Adams head sculpt for him.
Yeah,
I don't remember seeing. To be honest, I don't know what. I remember seeing some plain white clone troopers in a.
This was from the flashback with Anakin when he was in the Jedi.
Oh, okay.
Because that's the thing in the groups, isn't it? Where they're saying that they're going to do a Obi-Wan Anakin. And then reissue the dark side Anakin with a different base.
Could do.
To be honest, they've got form.
As seen in Obi-Wan Kenobi,
Yeah, it would be a different version.
Yeah.
And you don't really need the lava base for it. So...
No.
It would just piss off all the people who are paying like fucking 500 quid for a new... for a dark side Anakin. Or even a normal Anakin. Because it'd be Obi-Wan as well, they'd do. Because you'd get an Obi-Wan from when they're dueling. You'd get an episode... if they were smart about it, you'd get an episode 2 Obi-Wan and an episode 2 Anakin and label them up as Clone Wars. It's not Clone Wars, sorry, it's Obi-Wan. Yeah. That people would... Yeah. I'd pre-order those and I'm practically fucking out the game.
Yeah.
Like, that would be worth it. I'd be doing that all day long. All day long.
Yeah.
But yeah. Now, this next one, though, I've pre-ordered.
You did.
I'll tell you how much I'm looking forward to this. Yes, this is the present toys T2 Terminator. The standard edition is 163. The deluxe is 183, and it's at Q3 2023. So the deluxe is effectively your battle damage version with all your interchangeable bits, and your standard is just a clean version.
So you get 2 jackets, don't you, for the and the arm. Yeah. So that's good. And when you think what you're getting for that 180 quid,
fucking mental.
Yeah,
I've wanted one of these for years. From the moment I started collecting, I wanted one of these, and I was stupid and didn't jump into the Terminator line. I had the Tech Noir, and that was it. But this is the one I wanted. I wanted the battle damage Terminator with all the gubbins, and I've never quite managed to pick one up.
What's this? What's the equivalent of Hot Toys? Is it DX13?
Yes, I think it's the 13. Let me give it a quick
from
Google.
T2, isn't it? Yeah, I think so. With the minigun and that, which goes for like 500 quid. At the moment,
massively. Let's have a look. It is the DX13. One on eBay at the moment, 650 quid.
God, Jesus. Yeah,
180.
But yeah, this looks really good. People saying it's
50 quid.
Looks like the quarter scale Enterbay head shrunk down, which is a very good likeness. So yeah.
Looking at present toys, last few releases, I'm more than happy to take a punt on this.
Yeah, and I don't know if they've said whether the jacket will be leather or not, because obviously they came out with the leather jacket for Indy, which wasn't originally solicited, so it'd be interesting to see. Not so much of an issue with the battle damage, because obviously if that starts to flake, then that's
Yeah.
It's just added battle damage.
I'd be surprised if they don't after the indie jacket. If
Yeah.
I'm honest.
Yeah.
But there's a lot more here. You know, you've got the trousers.
It's a lot more
as well.
complicated, this one. Yeah.
So, yeah.
All right,
the only thing I wish they...
X10. So, yeah, it's kind of like a
bit of a combo.
Best version. Yeah. So,
yeah, I mean, I was going to say I wish it came with the pipe, but I've just noticed it does come with the pipe. It's there next to the minigun.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So yeah,
you could have
easily
sorted that out anyway. But yeah, comes with a lot of stuff.
Oh yeah,
looks really good.
Yeah, I'm very much.
And Present Toys are putting out some really good stuff. At the moment. So I think we can all be assured of the quality now, because there was a time where they had a lot of backlog, didn't they? And they had a lot of stuff hadn't come out. But
thing is,
definitely like that indie's been really well received.
Yeah, I noticed some retailers had a few more in. Selling those.
Yeah.
The thing is, like I if Hot Toys, like, you know, we say Hot Toys reissue quite a lot of stuff. If this was something they did, I would jump on it straight away. But they're just not.
Yeah.
No, they're absolutely not.
No.
But yeah, definitely looking forward to this.
Nice.
And the thing is, for 180 quid, if there is anything that isn't quite right, I'm more than prepared to fix it. I've got a decent base to work on.
Exactly.
So, yeah.
Absolutely.
Very cool.
Yeah, under 200.
Very cool. And then Present Toys were on a bit of a roll as well. And, you know, because I know, before everyone goes mental in the chat, I know we've been after a Gangs of New York figure, particularly this guy. We haven't had enough of him.
No.
So this is the Present Toys New York Butcher, 130 quid at Q2 2023. A little while ago, there was this fucking Stuart Little, all that kind of fucking nonsense.
Yeah.
You had him in that other film where he's covered in oil all the time. I can't remember. The figures of that.
There will be blood.
And the weird looking bloke from No Country for Old Men. That seemed to be like the pinnacle of custom snobbery.
Yeah, exactly. You were no one if you didn't have those in your collection.
Oh yeah. If you hadn't spent £2 a pop on each of them.
Yeah, maybe Purple Rain Prince now, and Willy Wonka.
Oh, yeah, yeah. If you didn't have that,
I expect he's coming soon from Present Toys. To be honest, yeah, we'll see Willy Wonka pretty soon.
I mean, I've seen.
I think this actually looks pretty good.
It was okay.
Yeah, it's a good film. It's not one that you jump back in, you know, and watch over and over again. But I think for what you get, for 130 quid, it does look really good.
Looks pretty good.
Comes with a shitload of stuff, all the knives and weapons and the pig's head and stuff. So yeah, I think it's good. But it makes me laugh that they've kind of have gone through these, because they did the they did the Van Gogh one as well, didn't they? That was like a really expensive. So they kind of, I quite like the fact they've just gone out after all of these like $2,000 customs and gone, yeah, you can have it for 130 quid, and it's actually not that much different. So I kind of quite like it for that. It's not something that I'd want, but I kind of quite like their style. You know, they've got a particular.
Yeah, it's definitely not a figure I pick up, but
no.
Yeah, they're definitely trying hard, aren't they?
Yeah, it looks. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, they are. Yeah.
Yeah, big time. So then we go to So Toys with the Old Man for 205 quid at Q2 2023.
Old Man Logan. Yeah.
Yeah, I quite like this, but there's been a lot of shenanigans around the jacket or jackets. And about how I think is it that one on the left. He doesn't wear that jacket. It's one that they've made up. They wanted to make it more Western.
Well, the shorter one with the lambskin one.
There's one of them. I can't remember if it was one on the left or the one on the right.
No, he has a long trench coat one in the comic. So I think it's the one on the right, the shorter one with the lambskin stuff that isn't. But then, you know, they've come out and said, you know, because people, you know, I don't remember him having the guns and stuff. I mean, why do you need guns when you've got?
Well, I think they can. Yeah, but I think they've turned around and said that this isn't meant to be Old Man Logan from the comics. This is like their version
Oh,
of
yeah.
Western Logan.
Yeah,
so
exactly. They've gone for a more Western look, and I think,
Yeah.
you know, I like it. I think it's really cool. And you could always take off the gun belt and the guns, you know, and you can make it look a bit more like the comic book. But I think for what you get and the sculpt and the clothing and everything, I think it's really good.
Yeah, but I completely get what you mean. Why would a guy with claws need a knife and guns? Like, particularly if you're you know, invincible. Kind of.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you
really
might say he
it.
wants to pick someone off from range, but I mean, his whole thing is that he's a hand-to-hand brawler kind of thing. And but no, but I think I think for 200 quid, 205, looks really good. And you could just take off whatever you don't think you want on him. But pretty cool.
Yeah, quite like it. And then we got this, which is a really weird one. Yeah, so this is the S Hero, the throne. So it's the Doctor Doom throne. £370.
Yeah, we had him on the last show, didn't we?
Yeah. Out Q2 2023.
It's got to be made of, I don't know, solid bronze or something for that price. I mean, it's big. You know, you got the steps and stuff, but yeah, I mean, that's a lot of money. And that, considering the figure was like 150, or you know, which is really looks really good and was a good price.
Yeah, 150 for the figure, £370. Like, just.
How about new?
It just ain't happening.
No.
If anyone pays that for this, they need their fucking head looked at.
Yeah. Because I saw it on there and I was like, oh, you know, it's probably 150 quid or whatever. Like, you know, it's not bad. You got 300 quid for the whole thing. But I was like, I was only when I was doing the show sheet just before, just filling in some gaps. I was like, oh, hang on a minute, 370 quid. And you know, and they're showing off the back there, but you're never ever going to see that unless you've got this on the middle of a coffee table and you can walk all the way around it. You know, that's 150 quid's worth on the back there, which you're never gonna see.
Fucking insanity.
Yeah. So I'm not sure they're going to sell many of those, to be honest.
No, I don't think so. I think they can politely go suck a dick. It ain't happening.
Yeah,
not happening in the slightest. And then we have Kai. Now this is probably the best butcher I've seen. Kai Studios, Mr. Antihero, £152 at Q2 to Q3 2023. This is the best. This is the best of the lot.
Yeah, and this must be what, the third or fourth go of different companies, licensed and unlicensed. And,
it's probably the fourth.
Yeah,
fourth, I think.
Yeah,
but it comes with quite a lot. I like the accessories. I think the sculpt looks pretty good. Like I said, it's not perfect, but it's the best of a bunch. By far, the best of a bunch. But yeah, the thing is, with stuff like this, I kind of, again, it's that TV show problem. Where I'm like, if I was in the middle of watching the program, I would be all over it, and I'd be going, fucking, just get it. Particularly for 150 quid, like, it's not breaking the bank. Well, I say that everyone's fucking skinned, so 150 quid's a lot more than it used to be.
Well,
but,
yeah,
I'd probably give it a pump, but
I'm with you. It's like in a year or two's time, like after the show. Will you still look at this and go, yeah, that's cool? You know, which is, I always say why most of my stuff is all like mostly 80s because you know if I still like it now, then I'm not gonna ever not like it. Whereas you know, Game of Thrones, when that was on, I'd love to have had a load of the figures, and I probably could have, you know. I think I almost had a Jon Snow, and I decided not at the end. But now, if I had him, I'd be like, I just want to get rid of them.
The way it ended,
and they're still bringing them out, and occasionally there's one like that
down the fucking stairs.
Yeah, that Jorah Mormont, and I think that's a really cool figure. I like it, but what's the point? Because I'm not going to buy any others. You know, and he's just going to end up. I'll get rid of him. So yeah, I think TV shows it's quite to me they don't often last the test of time like movies do.
Yeah, that's the problem, innit? Like it does. They tend to
going on to
they date. Mr. Arsehead, Mr. Quark.
Most of their catalogue is TV shows. So this different in a way, I think. Star Trek,
this is massively different. Like hugely. So Quark, he will set you back £190 at Q2 2023. I'm not a so I like DS9. I used to absolutely fucking detest it. But when I went through and did that colossal, I'm going to watch all of the Star Treks. I ended up falling in love with it, and I was like, why did I never give this the time of day? It's
one of those ones where the first season, maybe the first two, they're quite hard on it. They're not great, but once it got going, I think, like for me, and I didn't really watch Voyager, but with this, it kind of was the most cohesive kind of arcs on the, you know, story arcs, particularly the last couple of seasons. That was really good.
So I think a lot of it has to do with like my age as well. When it came out, I was a lot younger, and it came out the same time as Voyager. And Voyager, I loved when I was younger. I thought it was fucking fantastic. Going back, and when I did the big like watch through of all the Star Treks, Voyager was not good. Like it was, I was like, hang on, when's all the good stuff I remember? And I was like, oh, fuck, there isn't really any. So I definitely think my age had a big part to play.
Yeah,
in how
definitely.
much I enjoyed it.
DS9, you know, it's a much slower pace. Most of it's set on a space station. You know, it's more cerebral, isn't it? It's more about the characters and the interactions and stuff like that. They're not beaming onto different planets and stuff. So yeah, I think it's always, but a lot of people, most people that I you know, like same with you, they've come to love it and appreciate it for like what it was. But yeah,
100%.
And I think this figure looks fantastic.
It looks really good. Like it's shrink ray. Like it looks really good. It's just a shame I'm not jumping into that particular pool, because again, these prices aren't that bad. Looking at what we get with other companies,
they're good compared to the big competitors, but you know, it's still
very niche though,
a decent amount of wedge. Yeah. But I think the good thing with Star Trek is like everyone's got their series, haven't they? So you're very much like your next gen would be your go-to one. I'm original crew, not necessarily from the series, but from the movies. That's my Trek.
Yep.
So I think it's good that everybody's got, like, if you like, obviously if you don't like Trek at all, then, but if you like Trek, most people have got their kind of go-to one. So I kind of like with Exo6 that, although they have seemed to lean more towards DS9 and Voyager so far, you know, it'd be nice to get some more TOS and next gen stuff. But yeah, I think there's something for everyone, and it's just being patient. But then when you think about it, you know, this has really only been running about a year and a half, this Exo6 stuff. So when you think how much we've had in that time, and this is, you know, out in 3 months' time, we can't really complain.
No, exactly that. Like, and I think that's the, and I think that's kind of a testament to Exo6. Is it shows that you can that model works. You can get figures out relatively quickly.
I think we all fear. So gone.
Yeah, I think you're gonna say exactly what I was gonna say. The only problem I can foresee with it is you need money on your hip pretty much at all times to guarantee you're gonna get what you want. And when we look at bridge crews and stuff, it's like if I look at the next gen stuff I want, I must be looking at about, for a whole bridge crew, probably over £1,000. Mate,
this is the thing.
You're lucky if I've got a couple of £100 in the bank at this point.
Yeah, I know. This is the thing that you know that if you're into a particular series, you in your head you know that you want X amount of figures, and it might be like if you want a whole bridge crew, you're looking at 7-8 figures for most of the series. So yeah, you've got £1,500 worth probably there if you could go with £200 each. So that's the fear, isn't it? That we know they're coming. We know that we will get the figures we want, but will we be in a financial position to be able to pick them up at the time? And obviously, as we know, as we've seen, that if you don't get them when they come out, then you're going to be paying a lot more money for them on the secondary market.
Big time.
Yeah,
big time.
So it's good. It's a double-edged sword, isn't it? It's good, but it's bad in some ways, you know. But no, I'm a big fan of Exo6, and I like the stuff they're coming out with.
She might as well run us through the next two peaks. I cannot pronounce anyone's name.
Yeah, basically. So it's the it's the Colinar Spock. He's apparently weeks away, so it could be by the end of the year. Obviously, he's the companion piece to Admiral Kirk, so they're both in their looks when we first see them in that movie. Spock's been back on Vulcan, so he's got his robes and stuff. So yeah, it said weeks, so it might well be before the end of the year. It'll be very much like Kirk. It'll be an instant buy. There's a certain amount. We don't know how many. We don't know how many there were with Kirk. I'm assuming that's probably going to be a similar amount because they kind of were visualized and designed at the same time. So again, if you want this guy, if you've got Kirk and you want Spock, then when he goes up, jump on it, get it as soon as you can. Probably a similar price, about $175. So not bad. But it'll be very bare bones again. It'll come with probably a couple of pairs of hands, and that'll be it. And then we've got Krug, who's the Christopher Lloyd, the main antagonist Klingon from Star Trek 3. He's rumoured to be
so good at that.
Coming up. Oh, he's brilliant. I mean, he just like hams it up big time.
Massively.
Really good. Him and Christopher Plummer in Undiscovered Country. Easily my two favourite Klingon represent actors of any of the series and stuff. Both brilliant. So he's rumoured to be possibly maybe the next pre-order, and he'll be a standard pre-order one like Quark, where you kind of pre-order him up and probably be out in 3 or 4 months. Whereas Spock will obviously be an instant. Well, I say instant. He's obviously, for me, when I buy him, he might be taking quite a few little pleasure flights on his way. But
you're going back to Vulcan and back.
Yeah, definitely, mate. Definitely. I see that coming up that he's on Vulcan. But I will be picking up Spock definitely, as I said earlier. But yeah, Krug looks really good. A lot of people have complained about the hair. Yeah, I get it, but I don't know that sculpted would look how that would look either. So
it would look very similar to the Hot Toys hair on the dock.
Yeah, I suppose, which isn't great. So yeah, it's you can't win either way really. I think it looks okay there, but is that weird shiny doll hair?
I did see something where someone was saying that it would have been better to have both him and Quark have the neck as part of the sculpt as opposed to it being part of the body. And I must admit, I was like, I think I probably would have gone the other way with it.
Yeah.
But
you're sanding something now. You're off camera.
I was actually dusting off a little model I printed. I wasn't sanding it.
I could hear something.
Dusting it.
I thought you were rubbing one out or something. Just a cheeky little wank.
No, I'm
Yeah.
I
Well, we can hear you,
printed
so
a
watch it.
squad of stuff. So I was just dusting it off where I had to, because I found out for ages and ages and ages, when I printed a resin model, it was taking ages for anything to glue. It's a pain in the arse. But if you sand the points at which you're gluing, it fucking glues so much better.
Yeah,
So,
if you got
but
a rough
then
surface, like a key for
everything tends to get a bit dusty then. That's the only thing.
Yeah.
So, I was just took the
Andre
opportunity to
says
dust a few bits
Kirk
off.
is still available in the UK, but quite expensive in the store. If you talk about Big Chief Studios, I think they've like whacked 100 quid on it. I think it's about 275 quid.
Big Chief Studios
good luck.
are the biggest
Yeah.
pile of shit I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know why anyone would bother with them.
Well, I suppose if you're that desperate and you've missed out and you must have him, then you've got no choice now. But I cannot understand why they've still got some at that price. Yeah, but, I don't,
Yeah,
crazy.
fucking awful. Awful.
Merchant, yeah. Right, so
Edward
next up we've
Scissorhands
got
then.
two. Yeah, as I say, you wait all these years for an Edward Scissorhands figure, and then two come along at once. So they're both on the same slide here because I thought I can't be bothered to put loads and loads of slides. So obviously Hot Toys bought this figure out a long time ago, but they didn't have a Johnny Depp likeness. They didn't have the rights to the likeness or anything, so it didn't look anything like him. I don't know of anybody that I know in the hobby that's ever owned the original one. How it's holding up these days, no idea.
No.
But yeah, it's just funny, isn't it, how these things kind of quite often turn up in pairs. So we've got the present toys on the left and the art figures on the right. So the art figures one was the first one to be announced. And then literally like a day or two later, the present toys one was listed. So I think your views on it are probably very similar to mine, that I think that probably the costume and everything on the present toys, because apparently that is going to be leather, so hands down that will be the better outfit and stuff. But I mean, that hair, it's just not working for me. I think the sculpt and obviously the sculpted hair on the art figures looks much better. But possibly, that's the only thing that's better. So you could, if you're really a massive fan of this figure and you want the ultimate, then you're probably going to have to buy both, which is probably still a lot cheaper than how much you'd get the Hot Toys one for, or a custom one or stuff like that. Make the best version,
because the prices
and then
on
sell off
these.
the other one.
So the present toys one is 205 quid, and the
Yeah.
to be fair, so the present toys is 205 quid, and that's out Q4 2023, and then a whole then at the start of the year though, you've got the art
Half
figures,
a year ahead.
which is 175, and it's Q1, Q2. So what you could, potentially you get the art figure one, stick it on your shelf, and go that'll do for now. And then get the other one later on. But then actually, to be fair, if you shoved either on your shelf, no one's going to walk in and go, who the fuck's that meant to be?
No.
I think it's almost like the one on the present toys one is if Johnny Depp 10, 15 years later decided to dress back up as Edward Scissorhands.
Yeah.
And the one on the right, the art toys one, is probably more accurate to what he was, to what he looked like at the time.
No, it looks really good. Yeah. I think if I wanted this figure, I'd do what you do. I'd buy the art figures, have that on the shelf. When the present toys comes out, if it turns out that it is all leather and it's that much better, buy that one, swap the head over, and then sell the art figures one with the present toys head for 100 quid, 150 quid, and then you've got the best one for 250, whatever. So yeah, and it's good to have a choice. So
100%.
And I don't think either looks bad, but yeah, there's obviously elements of both. Oh yeah, you get the civilian clothes with the present toys one as well, which is basically like a massive baggy shirt and trousers.
Well, to be fair, then
you could easily,
if you're that much of a fan, get both. And then what
Yeah,
you do
well,
is
yeah,
if
exactly.
the stuff, you swap the heads about and stick the alternative shirt on the one that you don't like the look of.
Yeah, exactly.
Bob's your
So you
uncle,
put that on
Fanny's
the
your
art
aunt, you've
figures
got two.
if yeah, exactly that. So perfect, really. We've solved it for everyone. Just buy both.
Yeah.
Right. These next ones, I hate these. I think they look horrible.
These are awful, aren't they?
Redmond
these
Toys,
are
I
fucking
don't
awful.
know. Have they ever put anything decent out?
I think the rip-off Blondie and stuff they did were okay, but they needed a hell of a lot of work. They were by far, for a while,
Yeah.
they were the only way to get hold of a Clint Eastwood that you could turn into a decent figure.
Yep. Yeah.
But these,
but now with Sport for
these
Choice, we've
don't
got
look
the
good.
sideshow of him, and we've got the Present Toys one that I've got on order, and the Snake toys. So yeah, but these just look bad. I mean, the red one, the old man one, isn't too bad. I don't mind the head
Futzable.
sculpt on it. Yeah, futzable. You know, I don't know really why it comes with just a disembodied werewolf head. It's a bit odd. It's just like, well, we could do it, so we did it. 'Cause it doesn't go. You know, you can't do anything with it.
That's
It's
meant
just
to be him when he turns into when he's all monstrous.
like a
isn't it?
wolf. Yeah, but you can't do anything with it. It's just
Well, it's meant
just
to be more
attached
like
to that.
bat-like, but it's yeah. Well, all it is
Yeah,
is the
but it's
original
weird.
artist probably did it, and they just ripped it off at the same time.
Yeah, and they went, I will just stick it on like a little plinth, and you can have it next to him. So I just find that weird. And then the one of him in the suit looks all kinds of shit, and that outfit
bollocks,
looks
isn't it?
dreadful.
Yeah, it's
That's
not great.
awful. And it's got the horrible, obviously that doll hair, which is going to look awful. The hat just kind of like looks like it's just sort of like just balancing on his head.
It's
no.
just shit. It's not great.
I
is
know
it?
they're
Like,
cheap, but they are bad. They're bad. I mean, they really are. Like, I've never seen a Redmond Toys that I've gone, yeah, I really want that.
Yeah.
They are kind of like real, the bargain basement, I suppose, because 135 quid today is what, you know, would have been like 90 quid about 3-4 years ago, and you know what you would expect to get for that. So yeah, see that, and he's got it repainted. It looks amazing. Yeah, as you say, they need work, but I think that one on the left probably isn't savable because the outfit just doesn't look good, or at the very least it needs a body swap that might fill it out better. But no. And these next ones are quite good actually. I chucked them in just because obviously we're in the middle of a World Cup in December, which is odd and like makes it feel even less like Christmas is around the corner. But yeah, these are another company I've not heard of before. Maybe they're new. Competitive Toys. So they've got basically got Neymar from Brazil, Ronaldo from Portugal, and Messi from Argentina. And I think they look alright actually. The Messi one head sculpt's a bit odd. I think the Neymar and the Ronaldo look really good. Messi's is just a little bit like sort of some of the features look a little bit too pronounced, like the nose and the ears. You can kind of see who it is, but it's a bit more of a character. But I think they're quite good. For 170 quid, you get their like latest club kit, which obviously for Ronaldo, very controversial one with Man United, who he's basically just told to fuck off and left after taking a big wedge of cash. So he's got the Man United and the Portugal. Neymar's got his and Messi both play for PSG, so they've got their PSG kits and their international kits. And yeah, they all come with the World Cup. So wishful thinking that they're all gonna, you know, one of them's gonna raise the World Cup. Well, they're all still in it, so possible.
Spread your bets.
Yeah, but I quite like them. I think they're good. I'm not interested in buying them, but I think if I think they're all pretty good. And the Ronaldo is probably the standout one for the head sculpt. But I think there's been like some football figures in the past, and it was a Rooney and bits and pieces. But I think these are the best stab that anyone's had.
Do you remember that Rooney policeman?
Oh yeah, he was brilliant. I love him.
Yeah. Yeah, I like the way they for some reason they decided that they were just going to make they were going to take footballers' likenesses and just use them on like military figures and stuff. So you ended up having Rooney as like a policeman, Beckham as like a bomb disposal expert, and all this kind of shit. It's like, what the fuck is all that?
Brilliant.
About?
But these I think these are quite good and slightly different, and just on topic really. As I say, they have the unique feat of all still being in it, because some big teams are gone. Belgium went out today. Number 2 team in the world, I think, Belgium, behind Brazil, and they're out. So and Germany. I don't know if they're out yet, but they're on the verge. So that was it for. That's quite a packed. Coming soon. So time to say hello to.
Yeah, I should probably play the video now, shouldn't I?
I mean,
yeah, you know, might as well do it if I can fucking find it.
Germany are out.
Hang on.
Yes,
there we go.
love it.
They're out now, are they?
Germany are out. Yeah, Belgium.
Custom corner.
That was so smooth.
Italy didn't make it. Here you go.
So smooth.
Take us through this. It looks cool.
So this is another 40k thing, because I'm fucking loving painting these things. So this is part of a Chaos army. It's called the Lord Despondent, and effectively he's a Chaos Tech Marini type guy. And the whole point of these things is they just rip through tanks and shit like that, but they're quite nasty. This is a bit of a cheapy model I got off of eBay. Because Warhammer is quite expensive and you can save a shit ton of money buying models off of eBay. But has a disadvantage buying them off of eBay, as in the fact that someone has probably tried to make it and gone, I am painting that. So you end up with it all made, and something like this you really need to make in bits. So luckily he hadn't made the guy up, so I managed to make the guy up that's riding on his back and paint that separately. Then I had to snap off and reset some of the arms, because the base I've ended up pinning him to the base and then having to add rocks and shit to hide the pin that pins him to the base. And there's an orc on the base that's been fucking chewed up, and that was actually a failed print, and there's loads of stuff, some skulls and shit I put on the base. And the idea was that my local Games Workshop have occasionally they have a painting competition. And this one was all about like fast attack, anything on a beast or anything on a bike or anything like that. So I thought, right, I'll paint it up. I'll have that finished by the end of November. No worries. This is taking me such a fucking long time. I completely missed the deadline.
You can see it.
I was like,
it looks amazing.
Fuck. And then I've had to do stuff to this, like the reins he's got are actually just foam, because the plastic moulded ones, I was like, that's just going to break. So I instantly just snapped them off. And then if anyone's doing any kind of custom work and you want blood, goopy blood, use, so that the talons on this, use UHD glue, all-purpose glue. It is the worst glue on the planet. It's so gloopy, but put some in a little pot and mix your blood effect paint into that, and then get a toothpick and start touching it to stuff, and it leaves those trails. So you can get that kind of real nasty looking, I fucking slobbering blood here kind of look. But yeah, this probably took me about 16 hours all in all.
You can see it though.
Just because it's such a pain in the arse to paint. But it's by far my favourite model so far that I've done. Like, it took me a lot longer than I'd normally do. And I've said to myself, I'm going to paint stuff really clean. I want stuff really clean. As soon as I start painting, I'm like, nah, fuck it. I want it dirty. I want it fucking horrible. I want it all kinds of grungy.
Yeah, but we've said that before. That's what we like. And I think that it just looks really cool. Like that shot on the right, just the to use one of Zach's favourite word is the patina. The patina on that armour is beautiful.
What's the patina?
Really good.
I've not heard him say
like
that.
the weathering, like
okay.
Whether the paint's kind of flecking off and you got like a bit of blood spray on it, and just the overall like look of the yellow there, where it's kind of aged and weathered. And
I really wanted, because I like chaos, and chaos normally everything's black and gold, and my orcs are quite dark in colour, and I wanted something that was going to be slightly different. So I painted them, sprayed them all with this yellow primer, which is proper bright yellow primer. And by the time I put a couple of washes on and stuff like that, it dulls it down to this like dirty, grimy orange colour. And I think it just suits it really well.
It's cool.
But I've kind of said to myself, models like this that I'm going to use and play the game with, I almost want two of. I want a display piece and something like this where I can just use it, and if it gets fucked, it gets fucked. And then have one that I take my time over and really nail it.
Yeah. Well, how I suppose it's only, as I say, how brutal are these games? But then it's probably more that it get damaged in transport is the issue, isn't it?
That's exactly
more
it.
Than anything.
That it's more the transportation, because a lot of the cases are just foam cases. So you're having to cut bits out, and they kind of stack on top of each other. You can get magnetised cases and stuff like that, which I'm going to have to look into. So I'd fit a load of magnets on the bottom, and the whole shelf is kind of magnetised, so it just clips in. But then you don't get
you've got
much
lots of
in
it
that.
sticking out, like the spear and the flag and the tail. They're all like vulnerable points of break.
There is so much on this that is just poking out that I'm like, and the guy is just kind of glued on, and I'm thinking that's just going to snap. I'm going to have to at some point pin him to the beast that's pinned to the base. But it's by far been my favourite thing I've painted so far.
I love it, and
I've printed a load of bits and pieces that I want to do. I'm trying some new resin as well that turns up at the weekend. But yeah.
Mark Pearson.
What's up, guys?
What's up, cunts? Love it. Thanks,
go.
Mark.
We both do it. Love it. And
Get
it
it
makes
off.
even better 'cause it looks like Gandalf saying it.
Yes.
But yeah.
Love it.
I'm trying to. I've just over December. I'm trying not to go mental and spend a load on models and figures and head sculpts, and I want to try and work my way through what I've got and finish off painting stuff, because the amount of stuff I'm surrounded by out here that I need to paint. There's 6-scale stuff. There's models. There's shit I've printed. I need to pull my finger out and work my way through it. But when I had this, I was like, I need to paint this.
Yeah, I've still got loads of my
amazing
D&D stuff that I want to paint, but I've got the week off before Christmas, so hopefully I'll get a day with the boy and we'll sit and do some painting. But yeah,
I'm still trying to convince my boy. Yeah, still trying to convince my boy to paint some stuff up, but he won't. So I said, I'll do your paint. I'll do your Space Marine captain, because he looked. To be fair, he's a pretty cool model, and I'll paint him. I said, but you can do your other Space Marines.
That's a set that I painted. Yeah, they are good.
Yeah,
good figures.
Yeah, they are cool.
Yeah,
they are cool. So let's have a look at TV.
Yeah, have you finished Andor?
I have, and I want to go back and watch it again because I think I've missed something.
Yeah. So
I must have missed something, or I've just not been paying attention, because I must admit it has been something that I've had on and I've just been flicking through my phone.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, it hasn't grabbed me, and as I say, either I don't know, I'm missing something, or it just wasn't for me. I didn't mind. I quite enjoy. I only basically finished it last night because I've been watching it with my mate and not seen it for a few weeks and that. So we finished it off, and actually, like the last episode, quite enjoyed it. The one with the with that ship coming in, like with the radar ship thing, and then the TIE fighters. A bit of action, a bit of what I like about Star Wars. So I don't mind the talky stuff, but I just felt like I was in that prison. Like it just, whether that was the idea or not, but it was just like episode after episode, just felt like it wasn't going anywhere. So if it was meant to make you feel like you were in there with them, then that brilliant, that worked. But and obviously you got the payoff in the end credits scene to see what those things were. They were building, like those weird like star things. I didn't like it, and I'm quite happy to say that, and I think people that go, I know it's brilliant. That's fine, because Star Wars, there's going to be something for everyone. Like a bit like with the Star Trek we're saying, just because I'm a massive Star Wars fan, I'm not going to love everything Star Wars. No. Some stuff's going to hit, some's going to miss, and I'm just going to say I didn't really enjoy it, and that's cool. If you did, brilliant, pleased for you, kind of thing. So yeah, not for me, but it looked really good. I loved this. So that scene with that ship. That Imperial ship thing with the big radars and stuff. The CGI looked fantastic. Like I had it up on the projector and stuff, and I was like, "Wow, that looks really cool." But yeah, so you were a little bit like, "Nah, it was okay." But
I made sure. I made sure that I new episode was up. I made sure I watched it. But I almost felt like I was always kind of doing something else, or I wasn't really giving it the attention it perhaps deserved. So I'm kind of looking at it from a point of view of, was it me? Was I just not paying attention? Yeah. Mm-hmm. Have I, am I the one who's getting this wrong?
No.
But
I think it's probably a bit of each. Yeah. There's a reason why you weren't like locked to it. Like you might have been with like Mando or Obi-Wan maybe. There's a reason why you start scrolling on your phone, because it's just not like just not riveting enough, and I think that's fine.
I mean, I'll go back and I'll watch it. I'll watch it again, so I can so I'm confident that I'm giving it the best shot I thought it deserves, and then I'll take it from there. If I sit and actually properly watch it this time and like it, great.
Yeah, and like you've always said, like bring on as much Star Wars as possible. Yeah. And if it's shit, that's fine, because to me that doesn't detract from all the stuff that I love. Like whatever they bring out, it's not going to ruin any of the like original trilogy stuff. And I was a bit funny about, I wasn't sure how I felt about Obi-Wan and Vader like facing off in Obi-Wan, because I thought, well, they seem to suggest, like when they made New Hope, obviously all that time ago, that they hadn't seen each other since Mustafar, but that was never, that was open to artistic license, and I didn't mind it, and I enjoyed the episode, and I thought it was cool, and I thought that doesn't change anything about what I feel about everything else. So bring it on as much Star Wars as possible, and if I don't like it, fine, I'll wait for the next one.
And it doesn't.
So I'm not saying it wasn't good. It just wasn't for me.
Yeah, exactly that. It wasn't. I didn't sit there going, "Oh, this is utter trash." It was hard to. Yeah, I don't know, Andrew. Blade Runner I really enjoyed Blade Runner, but
yeah, I've I think a bit like you're saying with I've come to appreciate Blade Runner more as I've got older. I did when it first came out, and I was like, well, not when it first came out, but when I first saw it, I was a bit like, yeah, it's a bit bleak, it's a bit, and I was more into, like you say, like the action and the, this, that, and that. But obviously, as an older, like coming back to it, I love it. I absolutely love it. Like the world it builds and everything. But
I used to be like that with a lot of Ridley Scott stuff, though. I used to be really like, when it kicked off, it was good. And now as I'm older, stuff, the slow burning stuff like Alien, as opposed to like out and out action nonsense, like Resurrection. It's completely the other way around, because I'm older now and I kind of appreciate it a bit more. But it's one of those franchises. There's something for everyone if you liked it.
Yeah, You know, and Disney Plus. Lovely. Yeah,
Love
I know.
Love it.
Cheers, Lane. But Willow, yeah. So I don't know if you've watched any of this yet. That dropped yesterday.
I watched a trailer last week that was up.
Yeah. So it dropped on Disney.
Well,
Plus
it wasn't so much a
yesterday,
trailer; it was more a little. It dropped yesterday. Well,
yeah,
fuck
it's
me
out.
with a shitty stick. I will be making sure I watch that because I quite like Willow.
Yeah.
I like Warwick Davis.
first two episodes. I watched them last night, and I quite enjoyed it. Pretty good. Yeah. I think it's a little bit laboured in a way that they kind of, because obviously, you know, it's set 30 years after Willow.
Yeah.
So there's a little bit of like a bit of a sort of janky exposition. Like this is, you know, it's got the original. I don't know the character's name, but the redhead girl in it. So that it's that she married Mad Mardigan and they had these kids, and so there's a lot of that kind of like, you know,
because obviously they won't have like Val Kilmer in there, will they? Because of
no. So he's not, and they haven't actually said. I don't think, unless I missed it, although I was watching it properly and not on my phone. They didn't mention. They mentioned him, but they didn't say. They said he went off like 9 months ago. He went off on some sort of quest and he's not come back. So I don't know, whether they'll do anything. But so it's about the kids. Yeah, it's about the kids and stuff. And obviously they say that the little girl that is in the girl, the baby that's in the original movie. She's sort of been taken off and hidden away. To kind of conceal her identity. So it's a bit obvious right from the start who it is. And they unveil it in the second episode, but you kind of know already. But yeah, I quite like it. Warwick Davis is cool. He's very much like straight back into the Willow character. From the first two episodes, it's all very much a setup and everything, and they're now off on this like mission together. But yeah, I quite like it. I'm looking forward to it. There's some quite cool like battles in there and CGI and monsters and stuff. So I'm looking forward to.
I saw Warwick Davis once at the airport.
Did you?
Coming out one of the lounges, cool. Yeah. Him and his kids. I would have gone up to him, but because he was with his kids, I didn't bother.
Because I think his daughter in the show is his real life daughter. I'm pretty sure I've recognised her from seen her in something before. So really good. Nice, and I think like
comes across.
Yeah,
well.
He comes across as like really nice. And obviously the original Wicket and did play R2D2 at some points as well. No, really good. Enjoying that. I think Disney Plus are, belting out some good content. I haven't watched they got the Guardians of the Galaxy Holiday Special. I've not watched that yet. It's meant to be quite good.
Yeah, with like the worst kept secret ever. That Mantis is his stepsister, or his like half sister. And I was like, well, no shit. I kind of thought that. I kind of thought that the moment we met Mantis. Like,
yeah,
fucking nonsense. I ain't seen it yet, but I will watch it.
Yeah, and the other big news was, I think it was between the shows, was that Disney Plus are teaming up with the BBC to produce the Doctor Who. So that can only be good. So
I think it's January, isn't it? They're all coming to Disney Plus.
But when they, yeah. So they're all going to come to Disney Plus, and Disney Plus, I think, will kind of broadcast to the rest of the world. Because so they'll kind of take over international broadcast stuff, and then the BBC will obviously still show it in the UK. But no, I think it's good. It gives it some gravitas, and it obviously gives it a shitload of money behind it as well. So. They're doing good stuff. Disney Plus. Yeah.
I'll tell you the one service I'm not impressed with is Paramount. I don't know if I'm going to keep that. There's not really anything on there.
There's not. My mate had it. We watched Strange New Worlds, which is probably the only point of having it, really, or if you're into Discovery. But other than that,
I watched
Star Trek
those,
stuff,
and there's nothing else. There's nothing else on there. I watched Frasier, but I can't watch that in all four.
Yeah.
There's nothing.
Yeah, I
really
think you're
on
right.
there.
Beyond the Star Trek stuff, it's not worth it.
They had some really random shit in there as well, didn't they?
Because they stuck Maverick on there, but I don't know if it's free or not. Do you know? Have you noticed if it's free?
Should be. If you pay for the subscription, it's free.
Yeah, exactly. So I know that they were going to, that was another one of their big draws. But I mean, it needs to be free. You don't want to be paying for that.
No, I ain't paying fucking 70 quid a year, then paying more. Oh no, Maverick's not on there yet. It's not on there yet. It will be, but it's not on there as of yet.
Yeah.
Or at least I haven't noticed it on there.
No. So, so that was it for TV and film. So yeah, some good stuff. Right. Okay. So in case you hadn't realised, we are now into voting for the Collecting Weekly Awards. So voting went live on Tuesday, 29th of November, and you've got till the 12th of December to get your votes in. So the next slide says the rules. The figures represented here are finalists. As finalists were nominated by our hosts and our listeners. Following a month-long nomination period, 5 finalists were chosen in each category based on the frequency of their nominations. Except for Figure of the Year, we've got 6 figures, which we did last year as well, because obviously you get a lot more nominees there. The finalists are then voted on by our listeners and hosts, with the figure who received the most votes winning the category. So I've put together my usual one sheet here to show you all of the nominees. So and I only really found this out today, but because I'm sure Zach had made it very clear, but the statues is out of here now because most of us don't really know too much about statues. John's got obviously his collector's club, and they're very much their own little gang. So they're going to do a Statue of the Year awards thing, and we've kind of dropped it from CW. But we've still got the small talk stuff in there, like the smaller bits and pieces. So, as Ben Thomas says, everyone vote, please. More votes we get, obviously, the more kind of credibility the winners have. Because, if 10 people vote, then it doesn't really... and like as you said, Ian, it's not to be taken too seriously. It doesn't matter to me. It doesn't matter who wins. I think it's quite nice to just kind of have a look back at the year, pick out some of the figures that people liked and enjoyed. Some are quite obvious, others more of a surprise. Just have a bit of fun with it. And I think it's always nicer if you have voted, when you watch the awards show, to know that you've kind of, boring show. If no one votes, that you've contributed, and obviously, if the ones you've picked win, that's all good as well. So I'm going to just run you through. I mean, obviously you got the slide there, but I'm just going to run you through just very quickly the categories and the 5 nominees in each. And we have 6 to Figure of the Year. So we've got Most Improved Company, So Toys 3-0, Sideshow, Iconic Studios, and Mafex. Best Overall Company, Hot Toys, McFarlane Toys, In Art Figures, Exo6, 4 Horsemen. Best figure under $35, which is about 25, 26, 27 pounds. SH Figure Arts, Gokhan, NECA Last Ronin, Hasbro Ahsoka Tano, Hasbro Cobb Vanth, Hasbro Bat BAT. I got no idea what that is, but I'm sure if you do, you like him. Best non-traditional scale figure, we got the Hot Toys quarter scale Mando, the NECA Last Ronin again, the Mattel T-Rex, Hasbro Galactus, and Hasbro Fordo. Do you know who Fordo is? He's another clone.
Yeah. I mean, to be fair, they all start melding into one after a while.
Yeah, and I guess that's a 3.75-inch figure because it's non-traditional. Best third-party figure, well, we've got So are leading the way here. We've got So-So Toys, the Boss Man, So-So Toys, Cajun Card Dealer, So-So Toys, the Trickster. I'd like to have seen the Green Menace in there, but I think it was debatable whether he came out. He might have been last year, but again, brilliant. The Present Toys, Raider Jones, which everyone's loving, and the Game Toys, Cloud Strife. Best head sculpt. We've got the Asmus.
I'd forgotten all about that Loki. Forgotten clean all about it. I completely forgot.
Oh, the Trickster one, yeah.
But I really like it.
Yeah, because Hot Toys have got one coming in like 2 years' time, haven't they? But the So-So Toys one is really good. Best head sculpt, we've got Asmus, Gandalf the White, So-So Toys, the Boss Man, Boba Fett and Throne, Damn Toys, Godfather, and the Caustic Plastic Bela Lugosi Dracula. Best 1/12th, we have Mezco Batman, Mezco Wolverine, 3-0 Iron Man, Mark 43, 3-0 Hulkbuster, SH Figure Arts Buzz Lightyear. Best 1/6 scale figure, which is obviously like our main focus, our bread and butter on here. We've got the Asmus Gandalf the White, Damn Toys Godfather, Boba Fett and Throne, Hot Toys Snowspeeder Luke Skywalker, and Hot Toys Miles Morales. And then figure of the year, again, you're obviously going to see some repetition here. Asmus Gandalf the White, So-So Toys the Boss Man, Boba Fett and Throne, Hot Toys Snowspeeder Luke Skywalker, Hot Toys Miles Morales, and the 3-0 Hulkbuster. So yeah, we normally have 6 in there because it's kind of nice to have, like, we've obviously got 5 6 scale figures there, but 1 12 scale figure. So I think by having 6, you kind of give you more likely to get like a wild card in there. That's something that's a little bit off the off the beaten track. So yeah, there's a good selection of stuff there. A couple of I mean, I what do I own out of there? Just Luke, which I think's a great figure. Nothing like standout, like if you take any individual bit, like the head sculpt or bits and pieces. But I think as a package and what you get with him, and that it was a look that people have just wanted for so long. I think like Hot Toys really delivered on that. And I think also, when we talk about you and I always have a little bit of a difference in opinion in terms of like when we talk about best overall company. Is it their product or is it how they kind of, conduct themselves, how they communicate with the community? So I think you've got a real mix here. So you've kind of got Hot Toys in there because, to my mind, they still consistently put out the best products and the biggest range of products, the number of products. Then you've got In-Art. They've not given us anything yet. There's not a single figure release, but they're in there because they talk to the community. They've made changes based on the community, like the Moria stuff for Gandalf the Grey, stuff like that. So that's where that's a as a company they're doing the right things, but we don't know what their product's like at the moment. So it's the different ways that you look at that. Like most improved, iconic. Well, again, the only figure they've got out at the moment is Ryu, and I understand that probably only like not many people have got that yet either. I think he's only just starting to ship out. Like what we see, and like we love Andy, friend of the show and everything. We had him on a few times. What we see it is looking good, but again, it's all about like looking at an established. Looking at an established company like Hot Toys that's been doing this for 15 years probably, and they're just so ingrained, and they are kind of like, still massively the like the kingpin of this 1/6. But yeah, So-So Toys most improved. That's who I vote. That's who I nominated, and they'll get my vote. And we've got, they've got 3 of the 5 figures in the third party, and there's probably another 3 or 4 you could pick from their releases that would go in there as well. So they're fantastic. But Present Toys, they're getting there as well. We've talked about them earlier. I think they're putting out some really good stuff. And I hope that the In-Art stuff is fantastic. I don't wish them any like, you know, I won't be buying their stuff. It's just out of my price range. But you know, I hope the stuff they bring out is fantastic. But again, it's unknown at the moment. That we're not sure whether they're going to get the Ledger Joker out this year. Apparently, if he comes out this year, then he gets an automatic inclusion in the relative, you know, in the, I suppose you'll go in head sculpt, best 1/6 and figure of the year, if he makes it this year, but we don't know yet whether he will.
Yeah, it's a tricky one. I mean, yeah, figure of the year is always a hard one, because I always really struggle with what's been out this year. Because I always, in my head, I always feel like I'm missing out.
Yeah. Well, it's here in front of you to help you. So, of this, have you got any standout picks here in any of the categories that you? Oh, yeah, definitely.
Head sculpt is definitely the bobber, hands down.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think potentially but for me, for 6 scale figure, it's been between him and Luke, because I think the bobber is just fucking awesome. Like, it's just so cool.
Yeah.
And Luke's
and
one
it
of those
comes
figures.
with the Dirty Great Throne as well.
Yeah. If you got that version, yeah.
Well, that's the specific version. I think where obviously with the head sculpt, it's you know, it's any of them really, but yeah, it's specifically the one with the throne. So obviously you can take that into respect as well. But.
Yeah. So I think with the Luke, it's one of those figures. I think it's greater than the sum of its parts. I think there's bits of it you kind of look at individually and go,
yeah.
But you know, it's no speed of Luke. It's
as an overall package
for such a long time.
It's brilliant.
Yeah, exactly that. So,
and you can get it for about £200 as well. So you know, it's
it's insane. Like, it's mental when you think about it. But overall, I think it's between those two. I wasn't a fan of the Godfather. The Miles, and although I really do like Gandalf, and I think it does look cool.
Yeah.
I just think the other ones trump it just because of the history behind them and how much people have wanted.
Yeah,
like Luke, for example.
Yeah, exactly. I think you know, I agree. Gandalf looks fantastic. I was a bit annoyed that you know you could only buy him with Shadowfax, which probably stayed my hand. You know, if he was on his own, I might have ordered him. But yeah, the Boba Fett, I think you're right. I think like that head sculpt is just fantastic.
I mean, all they've done. Yeah, all they've done with that head sculpt is taken the 2-pack one and smoothed out the scars on it. It just looks fantastic. It's shrink rate. They are fantastic. But yeah, and you know, I think that I think you hit the nail on the head with the companies and most improved and best overall company. There's a bit of, in my head, I was kind of thinking about this as you were talking. Like, maybe we should have split that out into 2. So best overall companies in overall products,
because the thing, nothing says that more to me than most improved Sideshow. So if you look at their product, then what the fuck are they doing in there? Those awful Clone Wars, Anakin and Obi-Wan. Their product is shit. But I think the reason they're in there is because as a company and as a Hot Toys distributor, people are loving them because they're suddenly getting all these figures like before people in Hong Kong get them. You know, and they're
also
they were
if
good.
If we've only just taken the statues out, I find people who collect statues have a better appreciation for Sideshow because their statues are nowhere near as bad as their figures.
Yeah.
So unless some of those people were kind of statuey people.
Yeah, and it's always an issue, isn't it? Because there's Sideshow the retailer and there's Sideshow the figure maker.
The shit show.
And they're two very different entities. As a retailer, and if you're in the US, then they're fantastic because their customer service is brilliant. You know, their pricing is good. You know, there's a markup, but obviously, you know, if you're in the US, it's still decent. But yeah, the product they put out is dog shit.
If there's anything that sums Sideshow up more as a company, it's the General Grievous. So the figure itself is an absolute pile of shit, but the customer service around it was really good. They let you cancel if you wanted to. They shipped you out new parts. They shipped you out new joints.
Yeah.
Like they really did. Yeah. They didn't have to do that. I mean, I'm trying to sell my Grievous at the moment that I battle damaged, and I think I just scare people off when I'm like, it is a shit figure.
Why is he damaged, Ian? Remind us why he's battle damaged.
I lost my temper.
Bounced him off the wall. Yeah.
Yeah, and then went, well, I'm going to need to battle damage this now. And then took my Dremel to it and, upcycled it, so to speak. But
yeah.
But the thing is, you kind of, you say to people, like, it is still a Sideshow Grievous. It's fragile. It's hard to pose. It's not so much posing, it's balancing. So I think by the time I've kind of said that to them, they go, yeah, I'll give it a miss, thanks. And I'm like, yeah, like I'd rather be upfront about how bad of a figure it is than let someone get it and then go, oh, I fucking hate this. So, but as a company, all the stuff they did around it was great.
Yeah,
it kind of
I think
sums them up really.
Yeah, I think. I mean, obviously, like we always joke that there's a couple of categories here where we've just got no clue. Namely, probably the under 35, the 1/12th, and maybe the non-traditional. I mean, obviously, we know a little bit about Mando and stuff like that. I think the best under 35 seems very underwhelming to me this year. And that's probably just because of the price of stuff. And I know it was put up $5 because it used to be $30. But there's nothing there that I'd go, yeah. I mean, the two Star Wars ones, right, yeah, they're fine. Guy at the bottom, I don't know what that is.
I don't like the smaller scale.
No.
To me, the smaller scale kind of drifts more into that it's a toy as opposed to a collectible.
Yeah. And I don't know whether it should be,
so more like,
we should move it to under $50 or something, because like I voted for some of the NECA Universal Monster stuff, which is brilliant, but that probably isn't under that $35 now. It's probably just over. You're missing out. Like they don't work in there because they're too expensive. They're not 1/12 because they're like, they're basically they're 7-inch, so they're more like 1/10. So then the only place they can go is in non-traditional, which I think is where I voted for, like the Mummy. But obviously that then kind of, it's a shame. I think it's a shame there's not a single NECA Universal Monsters figure in there, because I think they've done brilliantly on that line, and everyone loves them. Like everyone that's got them. And I look at some of these ones and go, well, they're better than those, but is it just because they're now like $40? And obviously they're a non-traditional scale, and I can see why Mando, that quarter scale, because there was some really good deals on him, weren't they? People got him for quite a steal. The Galactus was the Hasbro Pulse Kickstarter thing. I know the T-Rex was very popular, so yeah, that's my only disappointment really. But I just don't know whether NECA's like the Turtle is in there. But they're almost like hampered a little bit by the fact that their scale is a little bit different. They don't fit into the traditional scales, but I think NECA are always consistently good. Yeah,
they're always in there every year. No, something
to only
NECA
have
is in there.
that one turtle figure in there seems a little bit, but it's the way it goes. But yeah. Vote for the 2022 Collecting Weekly Awards for a chance to win a $50 gift card. And apparently that's for like wherever you buy your stuff. So, if you scan the QR code, that'll take you straight to the voting page. It'll take you 5 minutes. It's a multiple choice. Just tick the ones you want. Please vote. Please vote. The more votes we get, the better the show. And I always try and drag my ass out of bed at like 3 a.m. to join the guys and present one of the awards. So do it for me.
I don't. I'm not getting out of bed for nothing.
That's fine.
At all.
That's fine. I've got that covered. So apparently we have this Collecting Weekly holiday giveaway. Whoops. I've just dropped my mouse. Hang on a minute.
Smooth.
It is. It's the trouble is that the desk has got an incline on it, so it just slides off all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Collecting Weekly, OFAC, blah blah blah. Where the very very generous Lane Kramer is giving away another figure. He's giving away the classic suit, Hot Toys classic suit Spider-Man. So there's all sorts of. I don't really understand it, but there's like different things you have to do to get chances to win, and we gave you a secret code in the last episode and stuff like that. So yeah, good luck if you're doing that. And then Small Talk are doing their own little giveaway. Again, I'm rubbish. I don't know what you have to do to get involved with that, but watch the show and they'll tell you. And you can get one of these selfie series stormtroopers with your likeness 3D printed onto the figure, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, I quite like that. I do quite like that. That's a good idea.
It is good. It is good. It's quite a nice little thing. So that's kind of the end of the show. Let's just do the housework. Run through the beautiful Patreons. We've got Sean Fear, Ian Seavey, René Mendes, Eric Mariscal, Quinn Aguirre, King Louis, Mark Pearson, Paul Schreiber, James Colley, Equan, Chris Van Serena, Ben Thomas, Chris Leddy, David Jones, Sam Gist, Dominator, Joel Brader, Thomas Clark, Dan Lee, Diddy Martin, Stephen Krapp, Big Fern, King Zach, Susan Marroquin, Mark Phillips, Lisa Martin Bermondsky, Rick De Gregorio, John the Everyday Collector, Ricardo Valdez, Jose CZ, Owen Assassina, the illustrious Rainer, Alid Morgan, Takathri Wah, Derek Brzezinski, Aris Portillo, Pablo Meza, Carlos Sevilla, D-Rock, Matt Clevenger, Seth Tucker, CC3PO, Scott Smith, Don Maton, Jimmy James, Stephen Purchase, Sean Yatsu, Scott Bradley, Stephen Rhea Stanley, Eddie Manzanares, Louis Bennett, Chip Perrin, Jimmy Hernandez, Gigi the Judgmental, and Brenton Palmer. Thank you all for your continued support. 4 tiers, $5, $7.50, $15, and $25 a month. Have a look at the slide. Pick out what suits you. Different rewards and stuff for different levels. I won't. We've been through them before. You know the score. Have a look through there if you want to join us. You know what it is. I will put let me just drop the Patreon link in the chat. This slide is blank because that was where the December Patreon giveaways would go. We're 1st of December, so I'll let Zach off that we don't have that at the moment. But obviously coming soon, we'll have the sticker for December. I'm not sure if we might be going down to 1 now. I'm not sure. I know there was some cost issues and bits and pieces like that. So it'll be a holiday themed. Yeah, it'll be a holiday themed sticker anyway. So yeah, YouTube channel members, we've got Mojo Z78, Absolute Irwin, DK Avenger 702, OMFG Rick, S Beam, Andres IB, Dominator Sam Gist, Thomas Clark, Benjamin Hans, Chris V, Big Old Fern, Cram, OG Fan, Mark Pearson, Ben Thomas, Paul Schreiber, Andrew Gibe, CC3PO, Carlito, CT603, Eddie Mendez, beautiful Eddie, Sear Dreams, Jay Sear, B Chan, and the Fat Batman. Thank you.
The Fat Batman.
Yeah,
best
brilliant.
name ever.
Fat Batman. If you want to join the YouTube channel members, Patreons get it for 99 cents a month with loyalty badges, emojis, and member shout-outs. Or if you're not on the Patreon, you can join the Peanut Gallery for $2.99 a month, and you get all the same benefits the Patreons. We still have TeePublic, so if you want to pick up some merch, check out what they're doing. Again, I will put a link for them in the chat. Yeah, and that's another show wrapped, mate. And I'll let you take us through this beautiful array of gentlemen.
This group of reprimands. So this is our network. This is everyone. This is all of us in cartoon form, which is delightful for everyone involved.
Yes.
So we've got Collecting Weekly. Live unboxing, so they will unbox anything and everything at any point. It's been in the box, out the box. It's been in and out like Well, I'll leave that to your imagination. We've got After Dark, which is the seedier side of collecting. It's all these things. It's effectively a list of pithy tales that Zach will regale you all with things he's had to do for figures. Not all of them legal, all of them savoury. But
no, definitely.
Let's just say that. They've been asked for. So that's After Dark. There's Collectors Club. The
Oh, we're losing you again. You've gone all
the
all
club
robotic.
that I like. So my connection's unstable again, but it's fine. My speed test is telling me everything's good.
I can hear you now. Carry on. Got as far as
you can hear
Collectors
me
Club.
Now. So Collectors Club, which is a club for collectors, and it does everything it says on the tin. We've got Live and Let Dice, which is a group of virgins throwing dice about the place, which is also great. You've got the Ringcast, which is elusive. Should we say that? It's elusive.
It is.
Hopefully, it'll be on for kind of series 2 of the Ring of Power. OFAC.
Yeah, and a
Jewel in
couple
the
of
Crown.
years.
Yeah, exactly. We got us, OFAC, the Jewel in the Crown.
Yeah, baby.
The reason we're here, the backbone of the network that really holds we're the glue that holds everything together. Then we've got Small Talk, which is the smaller side of things, the busier side of life, and Bricks and Brews, which is all about getting pissed up and making Lego. So it's a good network. Everyone works super hard, believe it or not. Well, the other shows do. We just kind of phone it in a bit. But it's all good. We love it. Go forth. Watch as many shows as you possibly can. It will be super helpful for us. And that is us.
Yeah.
That is it.
Yep. The Collecting Weekly family.
Yep. That's your shallot, said the Onion.
Yep. Brilliant. No, nice to have you all again on watching in and listening. And we got one more live show before Christmas. So we look forward to seeing them. Might wear a festive hat. You never know.
just shake it up a little bit. I will put a festive hat on. I won't.
Definitely.
I will. I will be as miserable as I've been the rest of the year. And
okay, that's fair enough. We need everybody needs their Ebenezer Scrooge for Christmas. So I'll let you take that part.
I'll throw a few Christmas cunts about the place, and then that'll be me.
Yeah.
Sorted. Yeah. Cool. Well, look.
Right,
thank you, everyone.
Come back on camera to wave. Oh, right. Good night.
Has my. All right, I'll come back on, and then the connection will probably die again. There I am. I'm here. I'm clothed. I'm about.
Hello.
So, hello. Right.
There you go.
I want to go to bed. I shall see you all later.
Yep. Cheers,
Tatty,
everyone.
bye.
Bye.
Bye.